I mean, I've done gazillion interviews. I've done, I've been on. I think, I haven't even thought about it, but this is probably my 30, somewhere in the 30s of pay-per-views that I've participated in. I've headlined and main evented probably 25 pay-per-view events. So I mean, this, like I said, this isn't my first rodeo. This is this is I enjoy it, and I'm not saying that being a pompous prick about it, but these are the facts, and this is just what it is. I've got no nerves, no jitters coming into this fight. I'm well prepared, and without the WWE, I wouldn't be as prepared as I am now as far as dealing with the press and dealing with the visibility. So it's a good thing.
Did it also, Brock? You obviously at times were a heel in WWE. Did that prepare you for hearing boos when you came over to UFC?
Well, the last thing you want to hear is crickets. So so I mean, if they're cheering for you or booing me, at least they're paying attention, and that's all I care about. So, and the last thing you want to see is stars. So, you know what? It's all a good thing.
Excellent. Thanks a lot. Best of luck.
This is Jen. Let's take a couple more questions and we'll wrap this up.
Okay, we'll move next to Dave Meltzer with Yahoo Sports.
This is for Brock. Brock, what difference in training? Obviously, Frank Mir and Shane are entirely different fighters. So, what have you done in training, different to prepare for Carwin's, strengths?
Well, I mean, he's got knockout power, so we've trained to avoid. Obviously, there's things that we want to do to him, and there's things that we want to avoid, and so it's really simple. He's got a heavy right hand, and he's a strong guy. He's got some wrestling background, Division II national champion. He's a credible guy. So I mean, we just prepare for a guy that I just told you. So I mean, it's been fun, and the good thing about it was it's not hard to do. I'm already surrounded with these guys. With the Cole Conrads, Chris Tuchscherer, John Madsen, Marty Morgan, Tommy Rollins, guys with great, and good wrestling credibilities. Randy Couture, So I mean, it's been a fun camp. It's been grassroots wrestling, heavy hand, ground and pound, and obviously working on a lot of jiu-jitsu. It gave me a lot of time to train. I've been training since January, so I've been able to bring all these different guys in at different times, and it's been really fun and refreshing.
You brought up Randy's name. How is it? Was that any kind of inspiration when you see someone, Randy's age, and his background still, being able to compete at this kind of a level?
Absolutely. I don't want to beat him when I'm 45 years old, but I got to really take my hat off to the guy because, when he came into my training camp, and I was very impressed with him. Very, very impressed with him.
And also, what foods that you used to like are you having to avoid or cut down on, when you had to make your diet modifications?
Fruity Pebbles, a big bowl of Fruity Pebbles at 10 o'clock at night.
Okay, thanks.
We'll go next to Steven Marocco with MMAJunkie.com.
Hey, Brock, you seem in really good spirits today, and I'm wondering if something that happened recently. There was some reports, well, not some reports, but basically Mirko Cro Cop talked about how he sort of changed his relationship to fighting and stuff like that. And previously he thought that media and a lot of that stuff that comes along with the fight game was sort of a distraction. Have you changed your relationship with media stuff and your obligations towards the UFC?
No, I still dislike all of you.
Fair enough. And so what would you attribute your good spirits to today?
It's a great day. I'm done with training today. I'm going home to my family. My training camp is just about over with. It's a good day to be alive. That's why I'm excited. The fight is almost here, and it's just a good day to be alive.
Okay, and then for Shane, I'm wondering if your blogs, you've been very outspoken in your blogs about sort of the inner workings of your career, and I'm wondering if that's caused any friction with any people around you.
No, it hasn't caused any friction with anybody around me.
Okay, is there a reason why you've been so outspoken and sort of forthcoming in your blogs?
A lot of it's just to communicate with my fans and just so they know how I'm feeling and that's about it. It's just it's a good tool to use for communication with the fans.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Let's take one last question, and we'll wrap this up.
Your last question comes from Damon Martin with MMAweekly.com.
Hey guys, first question for Brock. You talked a lot about Randy Couture being in camp and working with you and on the physical side, but how much of the mental side did he add on as far as coaching and just kind of, giving you an edge in his experience for this fight?
Well, a lot of things, he's had a lot of fights, a lot of big fights too. The guy's been, like I said, he's the godfather of this sport. I mean, he's the guy, he's the man. And, like I said, when he comes into the gym, everybody, he just brings a presence to the gym that you have to raise your level of intensity and so, I mean, he's very helpful. He's not a guy, he's a very humble guy, and he's a very helpful guy, and so we got some good workouts in, some great ones. And then at the end of the day, we sit down and we compliment one another, and we degrade one another. The biggest compliment is honesty. That we can get as a fighter, what you're doing wrong and how you can become better, and that's what I want to hear. I don't want to. I know what I'm good at. Tell me what I'm not good at, and then we can go from there.
Awesome. And then you said, obviously there's not any kind of animosity or personal animosity with Shane the way there was with, like, Frank Mir. But coming back from the illness, I mean, was that the ultimate motivation you ever needed for this fight? And as far as, getting back in there and wanting to fight again, you don't need any of that extra stuff like what you had with Frank?
Nah, that's just window dressing. You know what? I mean, Shane's got a lot of good things going for him, and so do I, but I could get into a he said, she said type of thing with Shane. I know what my credentials are. Shane knows what his are. I think mine outweigh his, and I think my hand's going to get raised on July 3rd. And he probably thinks the same thing. But that's the beauty of this fight game. We'll have to see what happens on July 3rd.
Awesome. And one quick question for Shane. Shane, obviously you mentioned the big guys you're working with, but everyone knows working with Grudge and Greg Jackson's gym, you work with a lot of smaller guys. I know John Jones just got up there. You worked with Rashad. How much do the smaller guys add into your training camp when you're getting ready? Even though Brock's a much bigger guy, but the speed and the quickness and the versatility of a guy like John Jones or those guys, how much do they add on?
Absolutely. That's what when you go with the smaller guys, the 205s, and even a couple of middleweights, they bring speed and footwork, and you try to match that as a heavyweight. And it's good just to look at aspects from all different fighters and give different looks.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys.
Bye.